this like this so I can, okay, so how to make more sales with less calls and cut your appointment costs in half at least, okay? And the three things we're going to talk about are why a webinar is one of the worst possible ways that you can generate leads for your phone sales business. Now, there are reasons that you should use a webinar, and I'm going to go over those in a minute. But for a business that's selling high ticket with the phone, webinar is one of the worst ways to do it. The new method that I discovered out of sheer need and how it changed everything for us, changed the high ticket business for us and our agency clients like crazy. So that's the second piece. And then the third one, I don't know what that is. But why webinars are the worst possible way to sell high ticket over the phone. The first thing is that they're slow to build. They are slow to test. And they are hard to get right. Okay, so what I mean by that is the webinar takes a lot. You know, the funnel is complex if you do it right. Like, here's how we do webinars for people, and here's how we do it. It's like landing page to confirmation page to live one to, let's just say it was for an appointment funnel, to app, to calendar, and then to some sort of thank you page, right? So that's the thing. To make all this go, you got to build all these things. You've got to create, you know, a video here. You got to create like a, oh, we also have a live too. You got to create a really great presentation here. You, you know, have the app, the calendar, all that stuff. You got to, and this is just a copy of this one. Then what we have to do to make these profitable and work is we have a series of retargeting that we do at these steps in the process. Actually, this is wrong. We don't have 4 there, we have 3 there. So we have, you know, retargeting videos that are pushing into these pieces of the process. So we have to create, and we have the original ad. So we have to create to make a webinar work, you know, and like fully build it out. It is, let's just do this. And let's say the funnel stuff is in blue. These are all the funnel pieces that you build to do it right. The ads are in green. And this works. We do this for some clients who want this, and there's a reason why you would do it and use it. But so if you look at all this, this is what you have to build to make it work. And the points in this where you can get in real trouble are if your presentation is bad, then you're in a situation where you're not going to know, you know, what to do as far as you know, it's building out all this. It's a really slow process, takes a lot of time. So if your presentation is off, then, you know, testing this and going through this is going to take a lot of time. The other thing is, what if your offer is wrong, right? So your offer could be wrong, your presentation could be wrong, your ability, like you might not have enough sales ability. Like you might, like for me, I don't consider myself to be a great webinar deliverer at all. I'm not like Mr. Up, hey guys, I'm excited to be here with you today, that kind of thing. I know a lot of guys are, and they're great at that. I'm just not that great at it, right? So you end up with like this big thing that you've got to build, and the truth is that if you're not like really skilled at this stuff, it could fail. But it takes a long time to go through this and iterate and find the right pieces to it, right? So it's definitely I guess I have to go back to the red here. It is slow to test. It's hard to get right. Like talented people who do a lot of webinars still have to work really hard for a long period of time to get a webinar working. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, reason that webinars are the worst way to sell high ticket over the phone, and this is did I put a 1 by that? Yeah, it's so slow. So number two, the reason why is that webinars weren't built to generate phone calls. Okay, so what I mean by that is that webinars are made to actually sell product, and they're great at that. Like the reason is if you want to sell something that's a little lower ticket, generally like somewhere from say 200, which is really hard to make work right now on Facebook because of the click costs, but 200 up to $2,000 have consistently done well with webinars. Now you still have to dial it in. You have to be good at it. You have to have all this, all these things, but that's what a webinar is for. And the reason why is because you are trying to talk somebody into buying a training or product or something from you without having to have a conversation with them on the phone, right? And so webinars were great for this. Originally, I know corporate webinars and things have been around for quite a while, but originally a lot of these webinars, like where they came from, is back in 10, 12, probably 10, 11 years ago. There was a group of internet marketing guys who had big lists, and they all sort of sold. They kind of divided up the marketplace, and each month a different one would launch and would sell, and so on and so forth. And at some point, part of the process became doing a live webinar, and you would have a live webinar in the process, and it would be a big boon to the sales of the thing. Then people, started doing live webinars to their lists who weren't in that group, and it was working. And you had these people on your list that would buy an ebook from you or something like that on a general email process or on a page or something like that. And I should show you this. Okay, so there's a thing that I call the Context Fulcrum. I'll draw it real fast. And what it is like this is a seesaw, right? And so this is like the prospect over here, and then over here you have like you, okay? And so how you make a sale is by getting the seesaw to tip down in your favor, right? So on the left-hand side, on the prospect side, let me just, let's say I'll do this in green because it's different. So on the prospect side, you have two things that are working against you, right? You have their disbelief. For fun's sake, I should do this in red on the prospect side. That would make more sense. So you have their disbelief and you have the price of the product, right? Then on your side over here, you have two things working for you. You have your offer and your sales ability, okay? And what that means practically is that if you're selling, if they don't believe you, like how cold they are to you, right? The colder they are, then what generally happens is the colder they are, the harder it is to sell, and the bigger the price, the harder it is to sell. So if you think about it, like what a lot of people do is they have super warm traffic that's selling whatever thing they have, and it's a false positive that people will buy from you. But the truth is that if you have people that are fairly cold and your price is a certain area, then you have to work on it over here. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say something that you're selling is, $100. There's a lot of ways to sell $100 thing that don't take a lot of, the offer could be good or the sales ability could be good. It's like just a low ticket course or a one-off, almost anything, right? But if you up the price to say $1,000, then the sales ability, the price has gotten bigger, right? So the sales ability has to get bigger. And generally how people have done that is through a webinar, okay? That's the reason I wanted to show you this. But then when you start getting things to where they're $10,000, okay, that is when you can't do it with a webinar anymore. You've got to use a couple of ways. One is a phone call. Another way is an event, right? So those are the ways that you sell a $10,000 thing, because again, the price is going up, so the sales ability has to go up, okay? So this is, what has happened in the space of the last several years. Let me delete this because we don't need it yet. So what has happened in the case of the last several years is we have the webinar as the way that people were selling these $2,000 products, okay? So then what happened is around, say, 2011, I believe it was, Frank Kern and Kevin Nations made an offer into the marketplace called, I think it was called One Man Millions, okay? Okay, and what that did is that took what a lot of people were selling for $2,000, they tweaked it a little bit, and then they started selling that same thing for 8 to 10K and selling it with a phone call. Okay, so what a lot of these guys started doing is selling, they would take their product and add a little more coaching to it or whatever, and they started selling it with a phone call, right? So, but what happened is, and in the Context Fulcrum, I'll tell you that there's a thing about moving the fulcrum and all this sort of stuff. That's another time. But when they did this, so what people started doing is they didn't have a lot of other new ideas on how to sell or how to generate leads for this. And so for a while they were able to just make Facebook posts, right? Hey, I'm looking for 2 winners who want to be part of my program. Let's jump on a sales call and yada yada yada. And if you have a big list, you can email your list, all these sort of things, right? And so they were able to do that for a while, but then eventually they ran out of warm traffic. And so what they had to start doing is figure out ways to do colder traffic. And so what they did is they adapted the thing that they had been using most recently in their product sales business to be the thing that they did on their phone sales business, phone sales, okay? So what they did is they were doing, like, at first they were doing long webinars and then at the end pitching for a phone call, right? Then eventually they shortened it, and so it was like, anywhere from 45 up to 90 minutes. And then at the end, you pitch for a phone call. So people have been doing that for, I'd say, like 4 years now or so. Maybe a little more, but probably about 4 years they've been doing this pretty consistently. Guys, recently, it's really scaled up because a couple of guys who have big training programs have taught this method, which is, the landing page to the, auto webinar, to the app, to the calendar, right? So that's the method that a lot of these guys, that a lot of people are using, because some big guys who've got big business, or, have trained a lot of people, have taught people that this is the way to do it now, right? So, what we've got and what we've had because of all this is that this method, now, just so I'm clear, this method works. It does. But But the challenges with it that I'm about to outline for you is the reason I don't think it's the way to do it, right? Because a couple of things. Number one, people don't have to sit through a 90-minute presentation to decide to talk to you on the phone, right? So they don't need to sit through that to actually decide that they want to talk to you on the phone. As a matter of fact, I find from having generated over 50,000, probably closer to 75 or 80,000 phone appointments through other means, I find that your best prospects will not watch a webinar to get on the phone. I'm a hyper buyer. I buy things all the time. I mean, I'm in multiple masterminds that we pay for and you know, anywhere from $25,000 up to $80,000 a year. And I don't watch webinars. So do with that what you will. Because I don't have time. You know, it's like I don't have 90 minutes to give to somebody's thing, you know, just bottom line it for me, right? So, and a lot of people are like this. So your best prospects aren't going to watch the webinar. The other thing, and this is the thing that is the bigger issue here, is that the webinar math is working against you. Okay. And what I mean by that is that you have to pay really high click costs on Facebook right now to actually generate an opt-in that then, so let me just show you like on an auto webinar. And this is like, you know, I mean, we're in the trenches on this. So I know that these are, you know, like good numbers here, right? So and I'm gonna put a confirmation page in here. Some people don't use those, but the reason we use them is because we try to get people into a group and warm them up that way as well. So here's the deal. So you pay for what's called Cpm Bidding on Facebook, and a good click-through rate on your Cpm Bidding is about 1%. If you're paying, like, let's just say you're paying $30 CPM, then you're looking at, you know, a 1% on a $30 CPM means that you're going to get like $3 clicks, which is, again, pretty good. Let's say you have a 50% opt-in rate on your landing page, which is like, you know, let's that's 50% will be like off the charts really good. So that means that you're spending like $6 to get an opt-in, which everybody who's doing this knows that is not really, or I guess this should be over here on the landing page. So you're getting like a $6 opt-in, which is, you know, off the charts, you know, really good. And again, I'm just trying to give you guys like really good numbers here. And then let's say that, you know, from the landing page to the confirmation page, 75% of those guys go over to the live page. And then on the live page, let's say you can keep 50% of them to actually see the offer. Okay. So these are like, you know, this number is the only one that's possibly debatable if you don't use a confirmation page. But, you know, 50% to see the offer. And the reason we use this is because we end up with conversions on the back end because of it. Add a page here. But the big thing is that, let's say that you run this, right? And let's say that you spend $300 for 10,000 impressions, right? Because it's $30 for 1,000, so 300 for 10,000. Let's see how that works out. So if you do that, then that means that you bought 100 clicks to the landing page, of which 50 of them opt in, which again, you know, that's like really, really good if you're getting that. So 50 of them opt in, and of the 50 that go to the 50 hit this page, then 38 and a half, I think, actually hit the live page and see, you know, start the thing. And then if 50% of the 38 and a half actually see the offer, you have, what did I do? 17, no, 9, what was it? 19.75 people, 19.75 people actually see the pitch, and a good conversion rate is 10%. You know, of the people that see the pitch that are actually gonna book in a call with you, right? So what you end up with is like 1.975 calls. And again, you can say, well, we don't do this, so it's higher, or whatever. You can, like, with what I'm about to show you, you're gonna see what I'm talking about here. So 1.975 people, so that's, say, 2 people that you're getting for $300 that are booking in. So you are effectively paying $150 per appointment that you guys set with your webinar. Those numbers are like, if you're doing it all well, that's, I mean, and I know this is like, looks like crazy, was it beautiful mind stuff here, but this is what we do for a living. And these are the numbers that, like, when people come to us, usually that's if they're like really doing things well and have it dialed in and have all their stuff together, right? So the long and short of it is that because at each step of the process here, you lose people. Like when you have people come through here, you lose people, you lose people, you lose people, you lose people as the webinar goes on, you know, all this sort of stuff. And so the bottom line of it is that out of your, you know, 10,000 people's eyeballs that you pay for, only 20 of those 10,000 even have a chance to book in for a call, right? So you know, it's just crazy, right? So and you say, well, Kevin, you're like all over the place here. Let me just explain why I'm getting into all this. All of this that I'm talking about is firsthand frustration, okay? What happened, and I'm going to talk about the new way of doing it here, start in this, is the new way, which is what the introvert selling system is that I'm going to show you. But back in like November, December of 2016, okay, me and a buddy of mine, Rob Cosberg, were wanting to test this new offer. So I had done a bunch of work for a buddy of mine who owns a drug rehab, and we were generating 100,000 phone calls a year for him, inbound phone calls, running Google AdWords, okay? And the Google AdWords that we were running were call-only ads, and I had figured out a way to do them at scale in a way that you know, most other people had never seen before. And so so we wanted to see if the marketplace would want this kind of offer, and we wanted to test it. And so we came up with the idea what the offer was going to be, what we were going to do, you know, all this sort of stuff. And we're going to like run a webinar to it to generate phone calls, because we were going to sell this thing for $25,000. It was going to be a done-for-you setup program, right? So we came up with the idea, figured it all out, all this stuff, and I was going to have Rob do the presentation. And you say, Kevin, I completely understand why you were going to do that, because I'm like ready to lose my mind watching this. So Rob is really good, right? He's got like a radio voice, and he looks like a game show host, and he's just a cool dude, right? And so he's good at presentations. Like he's done 1 million webinars, and he like always crushes them. I, on the other hand, am completely unpolished and not great at this. I don't really like trying to be fancy and do slides and all that sort of stuff. So the problem is that Rob was traveling, and he was busy, and he was doing, family stuff and all this kind of stuff, because it was like in the holidays. And so we, had this idea, wanted to test this offer, and it was 3 or 4 weeks that nothing happened. And so, I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, there's a real flaw here in the system if to even test to see if an offer could work, that we have to go through this whole process. It's like way too slow is what I found. I was like, because I've been doing this. So again, this is how I'm not good at this. I'm not a great presenter on this stuff, but I've been doing this for 22 years full time, right? So this is my business. And so I have like written hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sales letters. I have sold everything from, auto parts to airsoft guns to Vaseline on the internet, and made millions of dollars selling all these different things through the years. But one of the keys to it is you got to fail fast, right? You got to be able to validate or kill an idea quickly. And I was like, man, if it takes us a month or two or longer just to even test to see if the market wants an offer, then it's going to, we're never going to be able to do this high ticket thing. Because I had never sold a high ticket thing. That's one of the things. So I'd had an agency like back in 2005 and 6, but we did a slow consultative, like 4-call sales process, the old school way, like a discovery call and a proposal call and a closing call and then a follow-up call and that whole thing. This was a new foray into this world for me. And so like to prove how, I'm sitting at my kitchen table here, at the kitchen table here doing this presentation. I should be in my office because it's got like, I've got my fancy microphone, and what did I do? I got a fancy microphone there, and I got, looks cool in the background and all that stuff, got the brick wall, but I don't know. I just wanted to do this and get it over with. But the point is I went to my boat and sat there for about a week, and I was like, man, there's got to be a different way to do this. And I was just like, man, this is too freaking slow. It's pain in the butt. It's, just like this is no good. And so what I did is I started thinking about like, how could we do this? And the premise I had was twofold. One is I thought the sales call is itself the sales mechanism. So you don't need to have the same pre-sale process as you do with a webinar. Like, to me, for someone to want to get on the phone with me, I knew they're not going to buy a $25,000 thing without speaking to me, right? And so I knew that was the truth. And then I knew also that or at least I thought that just to get somebody interested and on the phone, I probably don't need to have them watch a whole 60-minute or 90-minute webinar. So, I started thinking about things and trying things, and I came up with the idea of doing this whole different thing. And so what I came up with is a process that we tried, and it was like, this was kind of the I drew it too big, but then there's this whole thing. And so basically what it is it's a way to write the ad in a way, and then have a qualifying process here, and then have the calendar and payoff and warm-up pages and all this sort of stuff happen. And I did this, and should I color this in? Let's see. It'll look cooler if I color it in, right? So I did this, and it worked immediately. I did it actually without even telling Rob. And I don't know what color I should do this. I guess I'll do red, just so it has bunches of colors on here. So I did this and started running ads to it, and make a thing, because I already have the offer page of what we're going to sell here written out for you guys. Again, very, very professional. I started running it, and it worked immediately, and I started getting applications to talk to us about this offer. And again, we didn't even know if we wanted to do it, but what happened is we got 1,200 applications in the month of January 2017. And we it's so funny because it was just going crazy, and Rob was like, shut it off, and I'm like, no, it's a Frankenstein monster, I love it, I want to watch it, it's alive, all this sort of stuff. And we spent $19,000 on those applications, and the end cost that we were running was, I can't remember exactly what the cost per application was, but it was under $20 an app, $20 per app, right? And I think it was down, down around $11 an app at the end, if I remember correctly. But the point is that these were good people. Like the people that filled out these apps, several of them were people that were in masterminds with us, that were paying, $25,000 or $50,000 a year to be in these masterminds. And they were filling out applications to want to talk to us about this thing that we were offering. And in the end, and this is why Rob wanted me to turn it off, we only called 8 people that filled out the apps. And you're like, well, why do you do that? You hate money or whatever. Well, again, it was just a test. We didn't know if we wanted to do it, but we took 5 clients out of the 8 at $25K. So we, off of this ad, we had $125K in sales off of $19K ad spend, and we did 8 calls. And so what this did for us is, when you have so much volume of people that you can talk to, you are able to just cherry pick, right? And so what we did is we just cherry picked the few people that we wanted to talk to that we thought would be a perfect fit for this, right? Then we did the program and decided that it wasn't the right fit because these guys were not able to take that level of inbound calls that my buddy was, and it wasn't like his thing was kind of a B2C thing, and theirs was B2B, so it was a little different. So the Google AdWords call only thing did not turn out to be the right thing. They all got their money back and more with the ads that we ran for them, but it was it would have taken a complete overhaul of their infrastructure to be able to run their business this way. And the guys didn't want to do it. So anyways, long story short is what this did is I said, wow, this is like a new thing. Nobody else is doing this. And we started doing it for other stuff and started running it. And we ran it for, let me think. So a guy who does therapy, and he's like a grief suicide counselor type guy. And all he wanted to do was have his thing costs $4,000 or $5,000, and all he wanted was $20K a month. And I can't remember if it was 4 clients at $5,000 or 5 clients at $4,000. But he was one of the first guys who ran it for. His name is Greg, and he was getting like 1 to 2 apps a day. On $10 a day ad spend, right? And was doing $20K a month off of that. How crazy is that, right? So, it just immediately worked. Another person that we did it for early was a person who did tutoring stuff. We did it for financial coach. How do you say that? Coach. We did it for let me think. Like a women's business coach. These all were like agency clients, Then we started doing it for Taki. Then a buddy of mine, Alex Hormozy, who was in Russell Brunson's Inner Circle with us, he saw it, saw the original post and wanted to do it. And so at one of the Inner Circles, I showed him exactly like what we were doing, how we were doing it, the whole deal. And he used that format to start doing the posts that he was doing to grow their new business, which was Gym Launch. And so me and him and James Friel actually sat there, and I showed him how it was. And he used that to start Gym Launch. And then a few months later, reached out to us, and we started running his ads. And again, same thing. And he grew his business like, really big, really fast using this method. And since then we've used it like in I don't know how many. I mean, more than 20 different verticals we've used this in. And the amazing thing about it is it generates appointments at like anywhere from like, 50% of the cost all the way down to like 10% of the cost of what the people were spending to generate appointments before on their webinar funnel that they were using to generate appointments. And we're talking at scale. I mean, we had like for our agency clients on the low end, we have a guy who is a famous guy in the space who is, pretty like has a model where he only wants a certain kind of client, a certain amount, and he only wants, 5 apps a day, right? And then we have clients who want to have $1 billion webinar who are getting 60 apps a day. And again, like the 60 app a day client, we are generating we're not doing it right now, but we were when we were running it for her. We were generating 60 apps a day for $50 a piece. So we were only spending $3,000 a day to generate 60 appointments a day. Think about that. I mean, that's just crazy, right? And so it's just, it works off the charts, for the thing. So I'm trying to think of like different ones. Oh, personal trainer niche. We've run it in the personal trainer niche. People who train trainers and teach them how to have an online fitness business and stuff. So we've done a lot of that. There's another one called $1 Million Dojo that we did it for. There's like consulting offers, coaching offers, just tons of them, right? And it works across the board in every single one. So anyways, so you guys get the idea. So the power of it, and I'll show you this, and then I'll get into like what the point of all this stuff is here. The power of it, and let me give you the real thing, is that the math works with you. Those same 10,000 impressions, when you run it our new way, all 10,000 of them have a chance to see the pitch. So you have, 19.75 people see the pitch, or 10,000 people have the chance to see the pitch. They all can see the pitch, right? And so just the pure math is part of the reason why this works better. The second thing is that you don't need a 90-minute dry hump from some dude on a video to make you want to buy the stuff, right? You can do it. You can make a decision. Hey, I'll get on the phone just based off of a much simpler process, right? So that's it. So, and lastly, it's fast to test, to see if the market wants your thing, or to see if your angle is right, to see if your big idea is right. There's just so much to this. You can like iterate super quick, which is powerful, and that's the thing. So I'm recording this just to sort of put it out there and see if there's any interest in this, because we've done this. We did this last January of 2018 and tested it, and then we didn't do it again because I've been busy with some other stuff and I'm scaling that back now. But ultimately, what the idea here is, I know I'm supposed to do a number 3 and give you the third secret, from the perfect webinar formula, but I don't consider this a webinar, and it's certainly not perfect. So I don't know what the third secret is, but what I do know is that when we did this, we ran a test group last January and took them through. I call it the Introvert selling system. Okay. And the reason I call it that is a couple of reasons. One is it just sounds cool, right? But then number 2 is there's a lot of reasons why your webinars probably aren't working anyways. Reason number 1 is that, you might have missed because of the slow thing of it. Reason number 2 is, maybe, the competition, it's like there's a lot of competition out there, all this sort of stuff. Reason number 3 is just the Facebook itself and all the stuff there. But the one that nobody talks about and isn't like nobody's forthcoming with you about is that, you might suck, right? So that's the thing. Like, I know that I'm not great at these presentations. I'm not polished, and I'm not like, Mr. Good presenter here, right? So that's the problem, is that maybe you suck and you're not good at presenting. But if you're an introvert, which is more, along the lines of where I live, then you can do this other method and not have to be great at presentations. And you don't have to want to talk to the camera and, raise your energy and lower it down and do all the stuff that you have to do, right? So anyway, so we did this last January, and we did an 8-week program. We charged $8K for it. Actually, that's not true. For about half the people, we charged $6K, and then for about half the people, we charged $8K. So it was either $6 or $8K. And it was it was like, we called it the implementation program, and it was 8 weeks to set up your own introvert selling system, ad, funnel, post, survey, all the stuff, right? And then at the end, 11 out of the 12 people that we signed up got a client during the 8 weeks, which is, I think, pretty cool. And again, it's like it was working, so we quit doing it, right? So what I'm doing now is literally, you know, like I said, I've had other stuff going on with my agency and things that we've been kind of focused on, but what we're doing now for the first time, and the reason I'm doing it like this is because honestly, I mean, I'm just being real with you. Two things. One, I don't want to set up a phone room for our business because, you know, I want to keep it more simple than that. So I don't want to have, hey Cam, welcome home. Yes, I am recording. I don't want to set up a phone room and deal with all that. I don't want salespeople in my office and everything. I live in California, and having employees out here is about as painful as you can imagine. So what I'm doing is I'm going to hopefully be able to sell this the way you would sell a product, which is like with a presentation like this. But we are going to deliver this like a coaching program. And what I mean by that is if you remember the fulcrum that you have, the context fulcrum, right? So you have the disbelief and you have the price, and then over here you have the selling ability and the offer. So what I am doing is instead of increasing my selling ability, I am going to increase the offer of what we're willing to do for this price that you're not going to believe. And this isn't like a ploy or some, you know, made up thing. This is the truth of it. Okay. So I'm going to just go through it and explain to you what you get and all the stuff. Okay. So the first thing that you're getting in the offer is you're getting 6 weeks of training. And this would normally be just a course, right? This is, you know, what we would deliver as a course. But what we're doing is we are taking it through 6 weeks. And week number 1 is all about the long form post. And what that is it is the, 1,000 to 2,000 word post that you're going to be running traffic to. And there's a lot to it. There's a lot of psychology to it. There's a way you set it up. There's like the big idea. There's the pain. You've got to stack the pain. There's a bunch of stuff that we're going to train you on how to set that up, right? And so the first week you get all this training based off that, multiple videos worth of content on all the different areas of it, and then explaining every bit of it, right? Then week 2 is about your survey. I call it the magic survey because there's a process that you want to take them through. There's like 4 kinds of questions. You want qualifying questions, seeding questions, love letter questions, and lubrication questions. And we explain what all those are, how to set it all up, and how to I've built surveys for a lot of big companies and stuff. Back in my 10, 12, 14 years ago. And so I've done a lot with surveys, and I've sold 500,000 units of my own products using surveys. So I'm very good at figuring this part of it out, and we'll help you figure out a survey. The training and everything will help you figure out a survey that takes people like very smoothly through the process. And so the 4 kinds of questions that you want to run. Next is the actual funnel, which is all the pages and stuff that you need to create to take them through and to warm them up and all the stuff. We call it the payoff, right? So what you do is you like link up these things to get people to finish the deal, right? And then week 4 is the actual Facebook ads. And believe it or not, the Facebook ads are pretty easy once you get the first 3 weeks things set up. But we'll help you go through and set all that up and show you the deal. The week 5 is the warm up part. So So the dig, the set, and the spike, if you use a volleyball analogy, the dig is like the marketing, which gets the person to fill out the application and want to talk to you. The spike is the sales call. The thing that most people miss out on is what we call the set. And that is the piece in the middle that has to happen in between when you get the application and when you talk to them on the phone, that is going to warm them up so that they, know, like, and trust you as much as they can before the phone call. And then week 6 is going to be tweaking the Facebook ads, tweaking your stuff and dialing it in, right? So it's dialing everything in, okay? So that's the first thing that you get is the 6 weeks of training. The second thing that you get is 6 weeks of coaching. You get a Q&A call. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I think I can, yeah, there you go. I meant to do this. You get Q&A call every week, maybe multiple calls. Just got to talk to Jenna, find out the details on that. If we're going to be doing one or multiple, but at least one Q&A call every week, where you can ask any questions that you want about, the thing that you're doing. Copy critiques. So like if you write your ad or your post and post it in the group, then we'll do copy critiques and tell you, yeah, your pain is off, your big idea is wrong, all this sort of stuff. Ads help, same thing. Post what you're doing in the group and we'll take care of you and figure that out. Then funnel, survey, etc. help, all the other elements and pieces of this thing, okay? So that is 6 weeks of coaching that's going to happen. Then the next thing that you get is the exact funnel that we have. We've got it in ClickFunnels. If you have a ClickFunnels account, we'll just push it right into your account so you have it, right? Then also our best ads and post templates. These are, we've probably done at least 100 of these now over the last 2 years, different long form posts like this. And I have developed multiple templates based on whether you're doing, what kind of, if it's B2B, B2C, some of the industry stuff. Like we have posts that work for certain industries. We also have templates, whether it's top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. So you get like all these templates to look through and get ideas for how you want to do it so that you're able to have the framework. You don't copy the words, but you have the template and the framework of how it all works, right? And then lastly, same thing with the surveys. There's a process, and then you can almost just do like Mad Libs with the surveys at this point. We've dialed those in really, really tight. So that's cool. And then number 4, and when I was drawing this, I thought of this after and didn't really do it right. But again, that's why I'm so professional here. It should go right here. Is the community. There's a Facebook group that's going to be a client-only Facebook group just for people who are putting the introvert selling system into their business. So that'll be you and all the people that are doing the same thing. So you'll be able to not only learn from from us, but learn from other people in the group. And you guys will be able to kick ideas around and answer each other's questions and all the different stuff and see how it works for everybody, right? So the community piece. Then we'll get into the bonuses, right? So this is kind of cool. The first bonus that you get is over-the-shoulder video with me and Taki doing his. So we recorded us putting together his ISS ad, his survey, and his payoff pages. And we actually gave it as a webinar to his clients that pay him, I think, 24 grand a year in black belt. And so you get that as the first bonus. So you get to actually see our process. Like we talk through every stage of it, right? We figure out there's a back and forth that we did. So you get to see all the process that we used. Next thing is training that I created called group control. And basically one of the things that we use in the process is we get people into a free Facebook group, and we use the group to quickly warm them up as part of the set process. So the dig, set, spike, we use a group as part of the set process to warm people up. And so we'll show you exactly how we do that. Bonus number 3, mini chat mastery. There's probably a course out there by somebody that's named that, so that's not trademarked by me. But the point is that we also use chat, and we use mini chat a little bit, and I think everybody does chat wrong, mini chat wrong. And we have been using chat recently to sell up to a 6K course or training that we're doing without even talking to people on the phone. So we'll show you the exact process, how we do that and how it goes. That'll be part of the deal. And then bonus number 4, I call it the simple sales system. Again, somebody probably has a course named that, so I'm not trying to swipe it. I just made this up literally as I sat here a few minutes ago. And it's the way that I do sales calls. It's, I've got a bunch of different guys that I've paid to teach me how they do sales calls, guys like Taki Moore, Kevin Nations, all these different guys. And I have boiled it down to what I think are the smallest number of pieces that you need to get a qualified person to buy from you on the phone. And so I close, I don't know I don't track it. So for this 6K program that me and Rob are doing right now, so far we've had 4 calls and 4 sales. And that's, there's a counterintuitive thing that I do on the calls that I think is the magic of the system. So I'll teach you all that. So that's bonus number 4. Bonus number 5 is the Hydra. And if you have followed me at all, you know that the Hydra is a whole nother course that I created that we use for Taki and Shanda and some of our agency clients. And it's got 3 levels. It's a video course. It's got 3 levels. It's the 7 problems, the 10 commandments, and 30 days in the life. And I show you how to do every one of the videos and the whole thing. And this is for after you have set up your ISS and it's working good and you want to get lots of apps and you want to get them cheaper. This is a strategy to keep your cost per app cheap as Facebook makes clicks more expensive. And you get the full Hydra course that I would say I don't want to put an X by it. I would want to put a check by it because you get it. The full Hydra course that I would say don't start with that until after you get a working app. And then you want, this is if you want to do if you want to go big with your thing. Then bonus number 6 here is lifetime access to the training. And what that means is that, all the videos and stuff that you have here, you get access. They're not limited to the 6 weeks of the training program here. Hey guys. Again, like I said, I'm pro here. And as I'm thinking about this, I'm going to add a bonus number 7. This is just to help overcome all of the distractions that I am having here on the thing if you're having a hard time paying attention. Bonus number 7 is I'm going to extend the coaching out to 1 year. Oh, wasn't meaning to do that. Extend the coaching. So normally it was meant to be 6 weeks, but I'm going to extend it out to a year. And what I mean by that is that you will be able to stay in the coaching group. Like this is a group that we're going to kick people out of. Like after 6 weeks, we're going to kick them out of. And if they want further coaching, then they can pay us separate for that. Right. But if you buy the program through this, whatever link that I'm going to put, then I'll extend you staying in the group and being on all the coaching calls and all the stuff from it being just 6 weeks to it being a whole year. And just so you know, just to give you perspective on this, this is more than we gave to the people who paid us $6K and $8K back last year. This is more than we offered them. But the reason that I'm trying to make this offer as amazing as I can, blah, 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 blah. Jenna, I guess, is coming to our house. She's works for me and is going to be one of the people in the group with you. The reason I'm trying to make this such a no-brainer offer is, like I said, I want to be able to sell this, fill it up consistently without talking to people on the phone. And I want you to get tons of value out of it because, again, just being true to the thing, I have ulterior motives behind this of us working together in a bigger way after you get this ad working. So I'll tell you about that once you're in the group and once we're getting your ads working. So I do have bigger plans. This won't be the end all thing. I have plans for us to make lots more money together. I know I'm supposed to stack all these values and bonuses and make it be 10 times what the cost of the program is. But let me just tell you the cost of the program first and see if I actually have to stack it to make you believe it. This program is $1,888. That's it. That's the whole price. $1,888. One pay. It's not recurring. It's $1,888. And just to give you perspective, I don't think I put it on here, but my agency clients that we did this for, they paid us anywhere from $10K per month up to $20K per month to do this for them. And in the past, in the last, when I was working with my buddy's drug rehab, they were paying me $60K to $70K per month to run their ads. And that is no BS, no lie. If you want to talk to him, I can. Actually, I think I have a testimonial from him somewhere because we had it on our very first ad that we were running with the Google AdWords thing. I'll find it. But anyways, we grew his company from 30 million in sales to 230 million in sales in 30 months doing that. And I don't want to tell you that. I don't want to tell you that testimonial there to scare you off, because that does scare a lot of people off when you give them results that are outside of the belief realm of their belief system, but it's the truth. But the reason that I'm showing you all this right now is to tell you that, you know, literally right now I have agency clients paying me these fees to run this funnel for them, okay? And the reason they pay me these fees is because it works and because we are able to grow their business by 10 to 100 times what they pay us because of the way that this works and the way that we're able to run it. And you are going to get the exact same training. Now, you're going to have to do it yourself. You're going to have to run the ads and write the ads and do all that yourself, unless you want to pay us, you know, that these higher fees to do it for you. We'll do it for you if you know, we're changing our model. We're not going to do it like this. We'll have a big setup fee. So it'll be $25,000 up front to do this for you, and then a monthly fee to manage it. But I would much rather teach you how to do it, have you do it yourself, and then you can do it again and again and again and again, and have it be something that is added to your tool belt and your arsenal of things that you're able to do for your business. So that is this is the deal. I'm not like gonna like have some sort of do it now and I drop the price to 1/2. You know, maybe psychologically I should have done that, but you know, I think this is a pretty amazingly killer offer. And, it's like we have a coaching group that I run right now that costs $1,500 a month to be in, and I dropped the price from $2,500 because I wanted to have more people in it. And this in and of itself, I have sold without the 6 weeks of training or 6 weeks of coaching and all this sort of stuff. I have sold this for $2,000 several times from people that reached out and said, "Hey, I just want the course." We weren't marketing it. People just wanted to buy it. So we've sold it several times as recently as last week to people who wanted to do that. $1,500 a month for this, or if you do it apples to apples, we charged $6K at the very least for 8 weeks of coaching on this. Funnels, templates, and surveys, I don't know what that's worth, but you don't have to do a lot of the work. Over the shoulder video with Taki, I know that he charges $24K to be in black belt, and that's the only people that have ever seen this before. Group control, this is my own thing. Mini chat. I can tell you that I know this is worth thousands of dollars because we're like I said, we're testing an event offer as well, live event offer, and I'm making 6K sales through chat with this that my daughter is actually making for me. Simple sales system, it's mine. I don't know. Hydra, I know for a fact we've sold the Hydra many times for $2K by itself. And then lifetime access to the training we're not taking away from you. Plus extending the coaching to a year, so you get to stay in the group and you get to go on the calls and you get all that for a year instead of 6 weeks. So again, we're not charging that. We're not charging that. This whole thing is $1,888 one pay, and you get to come into the group, and the group is evergreen. So no matter where you like, if you're worried like when does it start, all that sort of stuff, if you see this video, the group is happening right now. And how it works is wherever you jump in, and we'll answer your questions. So it's not like it's week 1, week 2, week 3. There's a Q&A every single week ongoing. And some people in the question and answer will be on week 1. Some will be on week 3. Some will be on week 6. We used to, we were doing this. And when we did the original thing, we were going to split it up and do all the thing. But what we found is that having people at different places in the thing actually helps, because people that have been further along are able to help with the things that they're learning too in the group. So it's more valuable that way. So again, this is the deal. Let's see what, if there were questions about the thing. Let me see, what would the questions be? Let's see. Will it work for me? Will it work for me? Right? So that's a question that a lot of people have about a lot of stuff. If you are in B2B, B2C, pretty much okay, here's legit. Here's legit thing. If your person is on Facebook, this will work for you. Okay? That's the category. I am testing this as we speak on LinkedIn. Okay? I'm going to dial this in and figure it out on LinkedIn. Then we'll be able to do the same thing on LinkedIn that we're doing on Facebook. But for right now, that just as of today, which is, I don't know what today is. It's like May something, May 15th. As of May 15th, they have to, that your clientele has to be somebody who's on Facebook. Okay. But I can tell you, just to give you an example of one that's working, we have a bunch of, we have one client who is getting a bunch of over 60-year-old men who are like at or near retirement, and they're filling it out like crazy. We're getting $35 apps to talk to them about the thing. And all these men have over $1 million invested in the stock market. So if, you know what I mean? It's like old dudes over 60 who have a bunch of money in the stock market. We're finding them on Facebook right now as we speak with this. So will it work for me? If they're on Facebook, yes, it will work for me. Okay, here's a good one. Is there a refund policy? Yes. Okay. If you join and 30 days in, don't like it, I'll give you your money back, 100%. If I find out that you are doing this just to steal the content and try to pirate it and put it on one of those websites, I will pay for Filipinos and Russians to make your life a living hell. So just know that I will spend thousands of dollars to make your name rank for all the worst porn on the internet if you're doing this just to be a scumbag. But if you're seriously, you try it, it doesn't work for whatever reason, your people are, you think that you might can find them on Facebook, but you can't, or whatever, or, you know, it's just like whatever, after that, you know, up to 30 days, 100% money back. After 30 days, you know, like you gotta pull the trigger before 30 days if you want your money back, right? So that's the deal there. Number 3, you don't have any video testimonials on here. How do I know that you're telling the truth? What I would say is stalk my profile and look and see who all my friends are and my clients are. Like you can see who my clients are. You know, it's like, you know, Kevin Nations had never run a single ad before on Facebook, and I'm running his ads. Alex Hormozy at Gym Launch. Let's see here. Who else? Taki Moore. You know, you know, just tons of people. You know, Shanda Sumter, Lisa Sasevich. Let's see here. It's hard for me. Sterling Griffin. Bunch of people that we either currently or have run ads for in the past, and way more than that. And ultimately, these are all people. I mean, if you reach, I mean, don't bug them, right? But if you reach out to them within reason and ask them, you know, I'm very, very confident of what you're going to hear. And it, you know, it's like we have generated millions of dollars in revenue for all these guys with this method. What's another question here? Let's see. Man, I don't know. I'd say this is like about everything. If you have any other questions, just send me a Facebook message. I'll answer you and do it. But you know, ultimately, like I said, the whole idea here, the reason I'm doing this. Oh, I got a good one. If the introvert selling system works so good, why are you doing this presentation to sell it versus running the introvert selling system to sell your thing? So this is a real question, a real, you know, why this versus ISS? Okay, to sell this. I'll answer this one, and then it's going to be done. Okay, so the reason that I'm doing it this way is because I want to sell without a phone call. So the reason that I'm doing this right now is I don't want to talk to you on the phone, and I don't want to hire a sales team, and I don't want to do all this stuff. I want you just to buy this thing because the offer is so freaking good and the price is so freaking low that you're just like, okay, this dude is nuts. He's giving away way more value than anybody else. I mean, you know, dude, I know tons of people that sell a program like this for 10 grand. You know, big name guys that you know and I know that sell a program like this for 10 grand. And I know that, here's the thing, if this doesn't work, then I'll bite the bullet, hire sales guys, probably in Florida actually, and start running the ads and doing all that stuff and everything. But honestly, at this point in my life, you know, I have other businesses that are already doing multiple seven figures. I have a golf course. I have all this other stuff to attend to. I got 3 kids, 2 dogs, a cat, 2 horses. You know, I got plenty of shit going on. Hiring a bunch of sales guys is not what I want to do in my life. But if this doesn't work, that's what I'm going to do. And I'll change the price on this from, you know, $2,000 to $10,000 so that I can pay them and, you know, do all the stuff. And that'll be that. But if I can make this sell at scale, which is what I want to sell, at least, you know, 50, 60, 70 units of this a month, without me talking to anybody, then, you know, I will be able to not hire a sales team and not deal with all that stuff and just be a happy clam, a happy camper, happy as a clam. And so that is the reason that I'm doing this, versus is this right here. I want to sell it without a phone call. So I want to make the offer super big, right? And that's the idea here. So I guess that's it, man, or woman, whoever is looking at this this video. I hope that